Hey, what is up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So it is day one of the 150k Apex Trader Funding Challenge, and there's a few reasons why I decided to do this, so bear with me as I run through that, and then we'll go over to the one live trade I took today. The first reason I'm doing this challenge is because I really want to continue practicing my strategy with managing my emotions and my risk, and having a big account like the 150k has really nice drawdown room, and so I figured this is a really good time to have wider stop losses, practice what I'm preaching, and just continue getting it in, right? The second reason is because Apex does have a 90% sale, so it was a really good time to snag a bigger account for a really good deal, so I wanted to just take advantage of that. And then lastly, I realized, well, I've been knowing, but I didn't realize how much of an impact it has for all of you to be able to see the kinds of trades that I take and what I look for in trades. I recently put in my community tab, what you guys wanted to see from my next video, and it's really just having a breakdown of the strategy that I use and what I look for in trades. And so it's pretty obvious you guys want to see some more transparent trading, so that's what I'm trying to give to you guys, especially before my schedule gets even more crazier. So with that being said, this upcoming live trade you'll see in just a minute here, I will have a voiceover over it, just because when I'm screen recording on my phone, it can't capture what I'm saying live, it only records the phone, and I was trading on the mobile app at the time. Waiting for this to obviously break new highs. Now looking at Bookmap here, I do see a huge liquidity level sitting at 15,120, as well as market profile, those little orange boxes on the right, using that as also another confluence of where we may push to. Now switching to my supply and demand zones, you'll also see we're in a resistance zone, which is my supply 45-minute zone, and I want to see a push all the way to reach actually there at 15,139, maybe even 140. Now if we're really feeling really bullish, maybe all the way to 151.
Yes.
But at this point, we're just trying to have patience with the conviction of letting this play out. I do have my TP sitting near 130. It's about 120, 123, 125, I believe, which we'll go back to my Tradeovate mobile app in just a second. You'll see it again. But it's all about just having patience here. I have conviction to be bullish because, one, the day we've already obviously moved quite a bit. You can see on my trading view right now, this 5-minute time frame, we have that little white bull flag that we broke out of. And I'm looking for a continuation of that same kind of move into where my TP area is. We did surpass the pivot target as well, that little green line that you'll see where that bull breakout flag is. That is, I believe, R1. And then the really thick white line on the bottom, that is our P pivot target. So that's our, what I like to call it, the home base line of the day. But here I am coming back to the Tradeovate app so you can see my TP levels. So there they are. I wanted to take it there before we have a possible reversal around that 130 area. I tend to do that because I feel more comfortable with making sure I am securing my gains.
Stop and Q buy.
But here I am seeing that a lot of buying pressure is actually stepping in, so I'm feeling more comfortable to actually move my TPs higher. A lot of buying pressure to actually snag up that liquidity level on Bookmap you see on the bottom there. And just like I mentioned in the beginning of this voiceover, just having conviction and patience of letting my trade play out. So I am in with 4 contracts at this time, and I want to obviously see the first push into 20 as our first baseline, and then having the momentum from 20 all the way to 30. Typically what I notice with NASDAQ is that it has that kind of idea where it pushes from 20 to 80 and the 80s to 20s and vice versa. So that's something that I learned from another influencer named Trades by Matt. He's actually one of the OGs that I listened to back in the day when I first started futures trading. I love him, super patient, very entertaining, and he live streams almost every day.
ES buy.
This is the point where I was actually going to go sit in the car to prepare to go to the gym. That's why I turned off my Wi-Fi, because I was leaving the house. So yeah, anyways, back to what I was saying. I learned that little trick of the 80-20 magical rule from Trades by Matt. If you guys wanted to go check him out on YouTube, you can. You can probably just search up Trades by Matt, 80 rule or something, and that's where I learned it from. But also I obviously have other conviction to hold through based upon my strategy. But yeah, there's not really much to say right here. It's really just having that patience. We still have a lot of bullish momentum, and obviously the direction on the day is very bullish compared to yesterday. Yesterday we were in a downtrend before we had a reversal, and then today we are obviously having a complete bull uptrend before we have a reversal for the end of day, which happens later on at the end of this, which obviously I didn't know at the time of me trading, but yeah. So here we are, just chilling, watching it go. If you see bookmap on the bottom too, that liquidity level is just getting thicker and more orders are sitting there. So in my opinion, what I see is we might eat at it just a little bit before we get a little pullback, and then we actually break through it. When we have a lot of momentum during the high volume days, that is what typically happens, what I've noticed anyways. So see, we just ate some of it right now, came back into 19. We might pull back into 18, I think is what happens before we take off again. So a really cool thing about liquidity levels is that you're able to kind of get used to how it reacts when you look at bookmap. If you were to start back testing this kind of thing, it helps a lot with seeing what happens. So here we are pulling into that 18 area just a bit because we snagged some of those orders. And one thing that I also noticed too with bookmap and just liquidity levels in general is that there's 3 different things that can happen from it. Either 1, we can have a tap nearby it and then a full reversal. 2, we'll obviously eat at it like we just did right now, and then we get a small, very, very small pullback. And then the third thing is where we'll eat at it and then we actually break all the way through, which is eventually what happens with this trade here. So yeah, I'm having some faith in this system, and obviously having my first 2 cons get taken off at that 20 level. Now we have 2 left, one at this TP that I just moved up to 24. At my second one I moved to 27.5. So we're just waiting for it to play out. One thing also, I keep saying the word one thing, make me a billionaire. Give me $1 every time I say one thing, and I will be a billionaire by the end of this video. No, but seriously, another thing I noticed too is that when we have really crazy uptrend days like this, it really doesn't stop until it comes to power hour or almost towards the end of the market day. And in this sense, we're obviously retracing this whole move that just happened, which is insane to me. And that's something I was looking for last night, actually, for my London session. I actually traded last night, and I was able to snag some of the move where we had the bounce off the bottom and a push into the upside, which was pretty neat. But I obviously didn't do it on this account. But that's the move I was looking for since last night. So the fact that it's what's happening right now is great. And a big key with that is obviously, the evening session sometimes doesn't have as much volume as it does during the New York Open or during power hour. So that ties a little bit into the strategy that I use, which is, having volume. There definitely has to be volume if you want to be able to see some moves happen, especially big point moves. So this is one of those things that ties into my strategy, which I am developing that video of breaking down my strategy. I created a first draft actually yesterday based on the moves that happened during the New York session, but I kind of don't like the way that the video turned out a little bit. I feel like I didn't have good examples. So anyways, let's just watch this hit this here. Awesome, there it is. And at this point, I'm seeing that we are obviously continuing this up move. We might get to that, 140 level, even maybe that 130 level. So 128, moved it up, taking that trade to the next 2 ticks up, because I'm noticing we might have the push to 130, maybe even 131 at this point. And so I want to get my TP right before the reversal. That was crazy. You guys saw that on bookmap right there, right? That bright, red little line there at the 127, 128 level. So it's because lots of orders were or are sitting there at this moment. And so we're just waiting for it to get up there and to push through. Yeah, just being patient here, just watching it. So we're having a little bit of a pullback here on the 5 minutes. Try not to let it phase me. And yeah, just really, really being patient. I'm still sitting in my car, by the way. So I think it was the last 6 minutes or so, 7 minutes. I was sitting in my car still. I haven't left for the gym just yet. And I'm just waiting for this to play out. But in the next few minutes is when I actually take off to go to the gym, because at this point, like, I don't even want to look at the chart. I'm just have my phone open so we can record it for our YouTube video, obviously, and just in case I need to exit the trade. But I'm not like super duper focused on staying on the screen within the next few minutes here. So here we are looking at our liquidity levels. See there, I'm zooming in on the 30 so I can show you that we have lots of orders at 30. And based on like a 30 liquidity, the stop losses are probably at like 32, 33 maybe. But I usually do it like 1 point over like liquidity level. So I would have picked 31 if I held all the way through. But that's just me. So yeah, just hanging out still. Hanging out. I wish I had something a little bit more interesting to talk about aside from this. So I'll just tell you about my workout while we're just waiting for this to pan out here. Really good session. I think I mentioned that I was pulling into the lot as... Oh, I'm sorry. I think I was taking off at the time that I was exiting this trade, or like I was on the road already at this point, coming to the gym. But it was a really good workout. Definitely helps me clear my mind, and it keeps everything aligned in my life by going to the gym, especially with my emotions too and my psyche. Just it helps a lot having a balance. And I know my life is going to get a little bit crazier over the next couple of weeks, even the next couple of months. So having the gym in my life will be just great, or it is great. I mean, here we go. Let's see. We're very close to hitting our target within the next few here. I don't mean to spoil it, but I do want to say that patience is like the number one thing that, and faith, patience and faith are like the number one things that I want to really like incorporate a lot within my trading. Patience ties a lot into like faith in my system and faith in myself. And then obviously patience ties into the whole discipline thing. So like it's a whole bundle of trader psychology things I need to work on that I've briefly talked about recently. And, you know, it's something that I know will take some time, but I'm actually very, very thankful and grateful for just the opportunity to actually practice those things, and the fact that I'm acknowledging that there are things I need to work on, and I'm not going to stray from that plan anymore, because, you know, about to be, I think, 7 months really soon here, and then 8 months of being a future trader, and I just don't want to waste time of doing the same old mistakes, you know what I mean? So hopefully you guys are able to take something away from the videos that I post with my trading, with my challenges, with my trading psychology. Like, I just want to always be transparent with you guys. And, you know, even when I do have bad days and losing days, I do appreciate your support. Sometimes I do get in my own head thinking about what I could have done better. And obviously you guys are just reminding me that there are things that I can do to become better. And I just forget that, you know, there's people that have more experience, and it's always nice to have a friendly reminder. But anyways, we are about to hit our TP here in 3, 2, 1. Perfect. And this was a really good trading day. And that is a wrap for day one of the 150K Apex Trader Funding Challenge. Super stoked. We brought in almost $1,000 on the day, and it's only the first day. So, you know, we have a few more days to go before we reach the profit target and to continue practicing our strategy. One thing that you may have noticed in this series than the others is that I am trying to practice more contracts. Now, it's not every single day that I'll be doing this, but I do want to get comfortable with sizing in when I feel confident with certain plays. And obviously, if things line up with my strategy, everyone's approach to the market is different. So you find what's best for you when it comes to finding your risk management, how you manage your emotions, and then obviously how you want to trade. But sticking with that day in and day out is going to help so much. You know, the more I practice what I'm doing, the more I practice what I preach, the more confident I feel in it. And like I said, not every day is perfect, and not every day it's going to be worth it to go in with a lot of cons, but today was one of those days where I felt comfortable to do that. But with that being said, I want to try to not put so much pressure on my shoulders when it comes to evaluations, performance accounts, and challenges that I post on YouTube. I tend to put too much pressure on my shoulders and overthink like how I trade, overthink like every little thing, and I think that causes another layer of just nervousness. So we'll see how it goes throughout this challenge, if I'm able to break down that barrier and just really be myself and feel the faith I have in my system. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here because this is probably a long enough video. So I do appreciate your guys' time and support. I always wish you nothing but the best and most success in your trading journey, and I will see you all in the next video.